Hello, ladies. Welcome back to the show. I'm your host, Dr. Mel Vandevort, and today is all about bold action. Ladies, have you been feeling hesitant or maybe just uncertain about the next steps in your life decisions or your career? Well, let me tell you what, it's time to rise up and embrace your unique God-given talents and gifts. Today, I'm going to be looking at the story of Esther, who took really bold action to fulfill her God-defined purpose. And I'm going to give you 3 action steps to take really bold action like Esther took. I've said before, even if you're scared, do it anyway. Do it scared, ladies. Esther did it scared, and she was bold, and she did not waver in her faith and her hope. Today is all about having the confidence to take action. Are you in a new season of your life? Are you stuck and searching for clarity so you can make a career change? Do you just need the courage to switch careers? Are you ready to follow God's plan for your career? Welcome to Choose Your Next Yes. Hi, Kindred. I'm Mel, a career transition coach, mom of grown-ups, coffee lover, and God girl. I've had a lot of big life changes, and I haven't always been clear about God's plan for me. This led to stress and anxiety and a lack of clarity and courage to make a career move. I finally started listening to God's voice to find clarity and peace and stopped being scared to make a move and achieve my career transition goals. Now, my mission is to help you learn to listen to God's voice and know when to say yes to the career you've always wanted and no to everything else. Let me show you how to clarify your purpose and find courage to pursue your personal and professional goals in your midlife and beyond. Throw down your self-doubt, dust off your dreams, Kindred. It's time to reset and refine and reclaim the woman you once aspired to be. Hey guys, I am so excited to be with you here today. I was part of a summit recently and it was amazing. I am inspired. I learned so much. I've been talking about this summit for several weeks and I was encouraging you to be part of it. And if you weren't, you missed out. It was so amazing. I got to connect with so many different people on so many different levels and it filled me up and it gave me so much inspiration and it gave me some boldness that I hadn't had previously. I'm pretty bold anyway, but this summit just encouraged me to take even more bold action toward the things that I really desire and the things that are going to fulfill me and help me to step fully into my own purpose. So with that being said, I am super excited to let you know that I am going to be rebranding very quickly. I have a new name for the show. I'm going to bring you more content that you are asking for. I've really been digging into what you guys want to hear. And I've been listening to what you've been saying and I hear you. And I am ready, ladies, to take bold action. So in preparation for the update, I want you to make sure that you hit the subscribe button because I don't want you to lose me. And if I have a new name and new podcast art, you may not be able to find me. So make sure that you hit that subscribe button so you don't lose out on the great content that I have coming. Now, that doesn't mean that I'm changing the show completely. I'm just adding more of the content that you want to hear. Ladies, I want you to completely embrace midlife. I am loving where I'm at in this season of my life. I am ready to embrace my God-defined purpose and step boldly into all of the things that He wants me to do. And that leads me into today's content. I'm going to be talking about Esther. She was a Jewish woman who was living in Persia during a time when her people, they faced great peril. And King Xerxes ruled the Persian Empire. And his advisor, Haman, had devised a really wicked plan to basically annihilate all of the Jews in the empire. But God strategically placed Esther in a unique position to make a difference. Esther was a beautiful young girl, and she lived with her cousin Mordecai because she didn't have a mom or dad. And when the king started looking for a new bride, Esther was taken to the king's palace as a candidate. Esther spent 12 months getting prepared before she was allowed to meet the king. Esther was a very agreeable person, and she did what she was supposed to do, and she won favor with the king. So she was made queen. As the new queen, she wasn't really aware of any impending danger that her people faced. Her people were Jewish, and Mordecai, her cousin and her guardian, learned that Haman had an evil plan, and he urged Esther to intervene. And at first, Esther, she was kind of hesitant because she was a little scared. She kind of feared for her own safety. However, Mordecai really encouraged her to embrace the courage to stand up for her people, as he believed she had been placed in this specific position for such a time as this. So the first point that I'm trying to make is to embrace courage. At first, Esther was very hesitant to do what Mordecai was asking. Mordecai was more than just a little encouraging. He really made her think about things. And in Esther 4, verse 13, it says, "Do not think that because you," and these are Mordecai's words back to Esther. This is going back and forth between the palace and Mordecai. He said, "Do not think that because you are in the king's house, you alone of all the Jews will escape. For if you remain silent at this time, relief and deliverance for the Jews will arise from another place. But you and your family, father's family, will perish. And who knows but that you have come to your royal position for such a time as this." Mordecai recognized before Esther that she was put in this place specifically. She was Jewish, and Haman was about to annihilate all of the Jews. Now, no one knew that Esther was Jewish because she kept quiet about that. Esther's moment of hesitation and fear illustrates how if we have inaction, your inaction is actually an action. When you see something that is not right and you don't say anything, you are actually saying it's okay. Her inaction could have had some very dire consequences for the entire Jewish nation. But that leads me to point number 2, trust God's timing, which is exactly what Esther decided to do. She decided to trust in God's timing, and she called for a fast among her people. They were instructed not to eat or drink for 3 days, but to pray for Esther and what she was supposed to do. And of course, Esther fasted, and she had all of her attendants fast as well. And she said when she was finished that she would go to the king, even though it was against the law. See, this was very serious for her to go in front of the king without being summoned. And she said, "If I perish, I perish." So Mordecai did exactly what Esther said, and he called for the fast, and they fasted. And their prayers for Esther was for guidance and strength as she was preparing to go in front of the king. So Esther went in front of King Xerxes, and God's favor was with her, and the king extended his gold scepter, and he spared her. And Mordecai was exactly right. Esther was in exactly the right place at the right time. God had prepared her for this place specifically. And this started long before she even became queen. I would assume, and I don't know, I'm just assuming, and hopefully I'm somewhere close to on the right track, but I would think that the 12 months that led up to her being crowned as the queen also prepared her because she was able to listen, she was able to hear things, she was able to get to know people, she found favor with people, and the king was quite smitten with her, and he loved her more than anyone else. Esther was extremely wise in her own right, though. She knew that even though she didn't have a lot of time to make a decision, she still couldn't just rush in and do something without being prepared. So that's why she called for the fast, so she could gain some wisdom and some knowledge and take some time to think through things. So what I'm saying is, while it's very important for you to take bold action, it's equally as important that you are very wise about your decisions and that you don't rush into something without taking everything into account and making an informed decision. And Esther's story really reminds us that waiting for that perfect moment, it doesn't mean not doing anything. It often involves being active in your preparation and your alignment with that timing that God has for you. There are some more things that I am wanting to do in my career, And I am working on it, but I'm not rushing into it because I feel like God is saying, whoa, let's put the brakes on just a little bit because there's a little bit more preparation that I have for you before you move into the next thing that you're wanting to do. But when it is time and you know that it is time, which is point number 3, I want you to take bold action into your purpose. Step fully into the purpose for which you were designed, which is exactly what Esther did. She revealed Haman's wicked plot to the king and ultimately led to Haman's downfall and the salvation of the Jewish people. Esther took bold action and she stepped fully into her God-defined purpose. And this was at the risk of her own life to save her people. And this exemplified the incredible courage and selflessness that she showed for everyone. And there's so much more in the book of Esther, so I encourage you to go back and read the entire book of Esther and take in more than I was able to give to you in just this short amount of time. There's just so much in there, but I don't have time to go into all of it. So this is the important parts that I wanted to pull out for you today, the parts that I think God was telling me to say to you. My point with this one is that Esther transitioned from that state of inaction into that state of bold action. And her choice to act was a testament to the power of taking a stand when the situation demands it. Inaction is not being passive. It is making a deliberate choice not to take action. And the transition from inaction to action can be one of the most transformative steps in your journey, ladies. And while I feel that God is telling me to take a step back on a few things, I feel very passionate that He is telling me it's time to change the name, change the focus just a little bit on this podcast and bring you guys a different form of content. It's the same stuff. I'm just adding more stuff. So I am not changing everything at all. You are still going to get some of the great wisdom from the Bible in a way that God is telling me to tell you. And I hope I'm doing it justice. But it's also a chance for me to bring more to you in a different way and really help you to embrace every part of your life and not just the career part of your life. I want to help you take bold action in every part of your life, in your relationships, in your finances, in your business decisions. And ladies, midlife can be tough for us when we hit that season of, well, I'm just going to say it, menopause, and our health can suffer at that time. So I want to help you take bold, courageous action to make sure that you are healthy as well. And I just want to recap for you just for a second. Esther's story serves as that profound example of recognizing inaction as a form of action and leading to life-altering decisions and outcomes that you may not have chosen, but were chosen for you because you didn't take bold action. One of the things that I mentioned in my summit presentation this past weekend is that when you don't take action or you are not intentional in the actions that you take and you're not taking informed decision actions, then you are leaving your life up to chance and somebody else is going to make a decision for you. And you may not like the decision that's made for you or for whatever your situation is. And I'm not going to sugarcoat it. If you are being timid in your decisions or your actions, then you are not being faithful to God and you are not trusting Him. And you can give all of the reasons in the world why you don't want to do something. Esther could have died and she still did it. So unless there's death involved in what is going to happen to you, I think you might be okay. Yes, you may lose some money. Yes, it may hurt a little bit. Yes, you may lose some friends, or you may have a different job, or whatever it is that might happen, but I doubt you're going to lose your life. When God calls you to step boldly into the purpose for which He designed you, He is not going to just push you out the door and let you do it on your own. He is going to be right there with you every step of the way. Esther trusted God's timing, and she took bold action as she was stepping into that purpose. If you feel that nudge, do some prayer. Talk to a mentor. Get a thought partner and talk it out. And if you're continually feeling that nudge, it's probably God saying something to you and you probably should listen. I was scared. to leave a full-time public school job. But I did it. And I absolutely love what I do. My audience has changed from teachers and students in public school to adult women. And I love every single thing about it. I am not scared to do it. Yes, I had some fears. I had some doubts, but I did it anyway. And I am so thankful. And my life is fulfilled because of it. And I hope today's show was a blessing to you as you continue on your path toward everything that God has in store for your life and your career. And I would love to help you get started on the path toward knowing exactly what God's calling you to do and stepping fully into the power of your purpose. I want you to go from potential to purpose as quickly as possible, as quickly as God's timing is allowing for you to go. But if you are confused, if you need some help, if you don't know what to do, you don't even know what your spiritual gifts are or what your skills are that you can transfer, then let's talk. I have a link in the show notes where you can connect with me. So let's connect. If nothing else, we have a conversation and at least you know what your spiritual gifts are. And I just want to remind you to be on the lookout for a little bit of an update on this podcast. And I'm working out the details and I will let you know exactly what that's going to look like very, very soon. So keep an eye out, but make sure you hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out. Enjoy the rest of your week and may the Lord bless and keep you. May His face shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord lift you up and give you peace. Bye-bye.